Bro, this song's super hard. Like, just how he wrote this shit is crazy. He said, it's a quarter past three, girl. What's it gonna be? Shorty got her eyes on me. Like, what? He went crazy on this song. You ever heard that Donnell Jones? He'd be like, you've been frontin' since two, girl. What you gonna do? I'll be chilling at the embassy. What? Oh my God. Oh, the song is crazy. My bad, my bad. You ever just get stuck in the 90s with the music, like early 2000s, 90s with it? Because all the new music out right now is, I mean, not saying it's horrible, but it's not that good. Now, when's it like, in my opinion, I'll say it's not just me, but in my opinion, music is a lot like trading, right? Y- you have similar artists, you get into a style of trading, right? Certain styles of traders and certain styles of music, right? But my thing is, what's the point of being like everybody else, right? Now, you can get inspired by people, but still do your own thing, right? Okay. Keep that in mind as we're talking through this video. Now, my thing is, right? Speaking, so you've probably seen the title already of the video. I've been getting asked this recently a lot about trifecta versus old style of using Goldbach levels. Okay. And people are wondering like why you can't find um a lot of information on one or the other versus a perspective of both, right? And so for a lot of new traders who are just kind of getting into power of three information and whatnot, you're being directed right towards trifecta, right? So a lot of people when I'm bringing up like old styles of using like gold back levels and other related concepts, right? Um, whew, oh my God, those got to sneeze again. But a lot of people are so new to this that you've only seen the trifecta, right? Which is cool because I love it. I will talk about it. But this is my thing, right? When it comes to basically the main question, right? It was like, what's better? People are trying to figure out if your DMN indicator that is clearly been like the super staple. Obviously, there's another one by ProMuck AJ, right? We've all been using that one. Um, to be honest, I use this for more like custom levels, and I'm not going to get into that right now. You can find more information on that in Discord. But my point is, when you're looking at certain things, right? It's all about creativity, my friend. Okay. So it's not technically about like old versus new style, GB levels. Okay. And a lot of people are trying to figure out, like, hey, I want the most accuracy on the levels. Like, I want to use them better, whether you understand them or not to a certain degree. I totally understand that little mental battle between, well, I'm new. I don't know which one is which. Uh, it's to the point where a few people actually thought that the new versus old style of the levels, just so you can get a visual of it. Like, yeah, we have regular gold back levels. Okay. Very, very cool, very easy to work with once you get used to it. In my opinion, a lot of my students are saying, just because they've been with me for a while, like we learned the old style and it was not super hard to learn. I just think that when it comes to filtering out what you actually need or don't need from the information to make your own models and things like that, you got to be willing to be creative. That's my point, right? Now, there's certain many types of artists, and like I said, I love early 90s. I love early 2000s music. I'm listening to Donald Jones right now, and I mean, going through a lot of his discography. Um, I'm listening to a lot of fucking Wiz Khalifa, obviously, but I mean, like, it's to the point where like types of creativity stands out, right? Now, the thing is, when it comes to the regular Goldbach levels, yes, you are still able to be creative here. The problem that a lot of people have, right? It's not about New York or London or Asia or anything like that. The real issue was, in a reality, is every time we're talking about this thing to anybody new, right? What's the main issue that you still have and you've been using these for a while? This motherfucker keeps shifting up and fucking down. That shit annoys so many people. Now, my students already understand this. If I'm saying that it's important to be good with market structure, there's a reason why. I totally get where a lot of people get into learning about the levels, and you get to a point where, I mean, I've even done it myself. You get to a point where you try to not give a fuck about market structure, and that shit don't work. I said, fuck it. I've been smoking a trippy stick on this last one. I got like a bunch of these carts. Right now I'm smoking wedding cake. I've been buying these, a bunch of wedding cake. But I also have pause on it, but I have extreme cream. Dude, I cannot be smoking extreme cream, dog. At least like during the day. That is, I mean, I love indicas, but goddamn. But my thing is, it's honestly like I'm looking to smoke a blunt always. But now, my bad, a little ADD moment. Didn't mean to distract you. Now, my thing is, we're speaking about the DMN indicator versus trifecta indicator. Okay. And I'm gonna go over a few basics. We'll talk about some cool stuff. Um, if you want more detail about this stuff, there's a members only movie that I just made literally yesterday for them in the Discord. It's literally an hour and 23 minutes long. No, I did not do that on purpose, but you get my point. Anyway, so it comes to the levels, right? And I totally get where a lot of people who are new to, see what I mean? Old style GB levels versus new style. Okay. Now, listen, to be very clear, it's not that these are different concepts. It's not that you're using them differently, really. It's just another updated perspective that you can use with Goldback levels, another updated visual. So you might be somebody who feels as though the trifecta resonates with you more than the old style. I have a lot of students still who swear by the old style, right? Just because they've been obviously using it for a while. And once I teach it to you, you're like, oh, this is not hard to use at all. And but the again, the real problem is for a lot of people still, experience or not, is the shifting of the highs and lows. Once you break them, we all know that The moment you break this red line, you're going to shift the indicator down. The moment they shift it back up is every single time you break above this thing. Yes, it's super fucking annoying. I get it. Yeah, this is my thing, right? You thought I wasn't going to smoke a backwood? Oh, you tripping. Anyway, now we're looking at 1 week of price action, right? So you're not confused. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nice expansion on Thursday that we'll talk about, and then your Friday. But this is my thing, right? The perspective on this. Right now, I'm on a 729, right? It's just upshifted because we landed underneath the low, right? So again, it's shifted the indicator down. It's super, super duper annoying to watch it do this. Get what I mean? Every single time you hit these lines, we understand the extremes of the ranges, no problem. The issue is you're still not sure that when we get down here, if we're going to bounce off or we're going to shift this motherfucker down and continue lower. That's what you're getting worried about still, right? Understandable. This is my advice for you. Okay. Now, I've always told people to make sure they're confirming. There's a certain style price action that you're going to look for on these levels. A real gem that, I mean, all of us have a similar style with this. Like me, Hoppy, we both talk about the same thing with this. But in terms of validation or invalidation, yes, like ICT has a cliche little version of it, of course, right? What do we talk about all the time? We care about the bodies, my friend, in terms of validating or invalidating if we're still bullish on a level, or if you're coming into, again, old perspective, right? You're getting nervous in here because it feels like we can just reverse from any level, right? Doesn't it feel like that? You're not sure if we're going to reverse from an EQ. So you're taking profits. Cool. You're not sure if we're going to reverse from that liquidity void level. I understand your frustration. You're feeling like you really only trust highs and lows for now, right? And no, it's not about algorithm one, it's not about algorithm two for me. It's technically about us understanding what is the optimal range. And when I say optimal, that doesn't mean just for you to hit the button. If you're looking to analyze something, and again, before we get to trifecta, okay, using your DMN indicator, your old style, right? I totally get it. There's a lot of things that bother people. For example, what used to bother a lot of people as well, outside of just coloring inside and outside the lines like this, right? How many times you've gotten pissed off that we made it close to a high and no dice? How many times? Got to drink water now, right? Dude, this fucks people to fuck up. I'm sorry. Like, we're so dependent now on just the Goldbach levels where we are ignoring the fuck out of structure and basic rules. So when I've expressed this, I mean thousands of times, right? Basic ICT shit. What I want you to just make sure you're understanding is how do you actually get this thing to change direction? How? On a super basic level. A high has to be taken for us to jump off a building. A low has to be taken for us to climb the Taipei like Alex Honnold. God damn it. Yo, did you see that shit? Yo, that man, bro, I done watched all his documentaries after that shit. Bro, that man is like a Super Bowl winner every single time. And it's hot to me because he listens to like his favorite music while like literally just like chilling and literally running up a fucking building. Or sorry, not building. He does buildings. That fucking big ass rock in Yellowstone, dog. What the? He's a monster. But you get my point. I don't want you to ignore basic ICT shit, even when you're looking at something like this. They fail to touch the high. How are you going to be comfortable with taking cells in here just because the high is not taken or touched at all? You're not going to take these. You're not going to take these expansions at all. Now, I understand what you're going to say, right? What you're going to think. Well, Jay, well, I have access to other highs and lows, right? You do. But there's a problem with this. There's a problem with this. Like you said, we could go and check out other ranges, but you get the same issue. You get the same problem, don't you? You're still going to freak the fuck out and think it's fucking bullish because you think we keep hitting this fucking low. Yikes. Now again, I know we rise and we come up and whatnot. And you're probably wondering why the fuck NASDAQ even looks like this in the first place. Just to backtrack on you real quick. Yeah, I'm still smoking this banana OG Kush right now. I'm still smoking the wedding cake. That extreme cream, dog. Whoo, cannot smoke that, man. Or if I do, I got to mix it in with the other Kush I got. Like it's called the happy hour, this other Kush I got. And it's a better like I don't know. I smoke indicas throughout the day, but I'm telling you, bro, like once you get to being like a weed expert, like you just understand like what's good and not in terms of quality, but in terms of like what's good for you during the day, during the night. And you got to know yourself. And the same way that like I know damn well there's an X cycle and an A cycle, you're not going to be surprised that we're doing this A cycle shit. It's literally accumulation. And you have a weak version of this. You have a week of A, or sorry, X AMD, and the X, right? It's either one, my friend. It's never going to go out of order, of course, right? This is your first week of February. This is your second week, and so on and so forth. Not going to go into detail. Just want to get that out the way as to why Nasdaq looks so gross compared to that, right? Now that you're slightly caught up, my friend, okay? And it's fractal, of course. So again, I know it's not new, right? What do we care about? X, that means hold your fucking trades. A, you need to be in and out with not trying to force that shit. M, If you're not hip to how to trade this, stay your ass out the market. I'm gonna be very simple about that. And you need to bring your game face on your Thursdays. Okay? Bring your game face. Why? Never a bad Thursday. If you're somebody who still struggles with like risk management or you feeling like you're a break-even trader, you need to come to the marketplace on that Thursday. Get ready to get that money back, my friend. I don't care how you felt on that Tuesday and that Wednesday. You need to come to Thursday, wake up and say, you know what? Now I'm wearing a do-rag right now, but put that ninja fucking I'm about to say helmet. Put that ninja fucking scarf on your head and go hard, my friend. Because Thursday is the time to make that money. There's never a bad Thursday. You get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, now that we got that established, I want you to get to a point where you're not like afraid to try new things, but you're looking to be open-minded. Okay. The big problem that we keep speaking of, right, is I like early 2000s, I like 1990s music. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. Now, when it comes to certain types of music right now, right? It's not saying that there's not creativity out there. I'm not saying there's not other traders who do their thing. I get that. But the problem is, right? What's the music that you really like for you? The one that relates to you, right? People say all the time that their favorite artists you really can't relate to once they get really big. They start talking about money you've never even seen before. You're like, whoa, I can't relate to Drake calling me broke on every song. Great artist, but like I can't relate to when he starts talking about motherfucking, you know, not private jet money yet, but we gonna get there. But you get what I'm saying. Creativity needs to be relatable. You can listen to someone's music and it sounds good, but if you don't understand what they're really saying, you're not going to resonate with that. Do you kind of get where I'm coming from? Pay attention. Now, listen, the reason why my style is the way my style is, and we've been talking about this a lot. I mean, I really appreciate anybody who's listened to a fucking word I ever say because you don't have to. You know what I mean? And you could tell me, like, yo, I mean, fuck, like, I just don't get it. Like, there's this concept or that concept. If you don't like something, I'll substitute something else out so you can then use a different concept to answer the same question for yourself. I don't force you into a certain model or a style or this or that. The only thing we are all forced into every single day is operating liquidity the right way. It's the only thing we're tied to. Outside of this, you can choose to use all Goldbach levels. You can choose to use Trifecta. Both are two sides of the same coin. You can flip and use either one. Now, my thing is, right? You can be good with this stuff and say, you know what, yo, I get it. Jay did teach me that if we keep responding to an EQ like this, and I'm looking at a 243 EQ, right? What can you do, brother? Well, you can learn that your half shifts are going to be the ones to help you if you're ever feeling like confused with what they're doing with EQ. Half shift that motherfucker, man. And like I said, there's a lot of people who are new to PO3 Goldback level concepts anyway. So it depends on where you get started from. A lot of people now are just starting to get a hang of this stuff. And so We're going to get into Trifecta shortly, but when it comes to like using your Goldbach levels in general, like your regular DMN indicator, the shifting of the indicator is not the actual bad part. And over time, you get used to working with it. Now, I'm not going to give out the gem to it on this entire video right now. But what I'm saying is the big problem for a lot of people is that the fact that they don't know how to operate when something is bothering them and how to pivot to something different. Or if they're actually giving you a perspective of what they're really up to, and you keep glazing the 81, and you're feeling like, yo, man, I don't know what the fuck they on, dog. They keep breaking this motherfucker. Like, and you're changing your bias every time it goes down like this, up like this, down. Like, you get what I'm saying? So every time you're in this area, are you buying this and trying to sell this and trying to buy and then like, you get what I'm trying to say? If you're not good with market structure, these levels will not help you that much. This is my thing, right? I want you to understand something. When it comes to being a trader or day trader, rather, you learn from me, you learn from Hobby, you learn from ICT, you might learn from another source who whatever, right? But what you do is you take what we got and you optimize it for yourself. It's not the goal of you trading directly just like me. You make what works for you. I don't have a problem using any of this stuff. So that means if I want to go and use just these, and I don't feel like I want to use even like a level or whatever that day, right? Let's come into the 15-minute chart. Okay. Now, for context, okay, we're going to talk about the expansion day. Obviously, all this was straight dog shit, right? So we have Thursday here. How am I going to choose to sell this down? Right? A lot of people are going to do what? You're going to pray to God, they hit the high, and then they give you a reaction. A lot of people will be a lot more comfortable with that. I totally understand that. But we just spoke about something. If we need to understand, I'm on a 14-minute chart, that's hilarious. Now, we need to come down and say, you know what? Why are we capable of even sell side order flow? Dog, M cycle already took an A cycle. So, like, XAM, see why I gave you a premise there? Thank you. M cycle, right? It's a wild boy. Not going to go into too much detail about it, but what I'm going to say is we have the power to take out both sides of the marketplace, and we do that. We take this high out. Now we are stuck here, which what then becomes high of the week. Where my lighter at? Bro, bro. I'm talking about where the lighter at. Like I don't got one, two, three, four, five. Oh shit! I dropped one. Oh my god! But yeah, I'm losing my mind over here. I need to get it together. But this how ready we are. No more losing the lighter. I'm ready. We ready. All right. We got this, y'all. We got this. All right. I was about to say, not the lighter not working. I was about to be, oh my God. Now, this is the thing, right? Outside of your gold back level being at the very, very high or at the rejection block, how are you feeling with rejections that are not at that level? That's my question to you. Think about that for a second. How are you with rejections that are not at a high or low level? Does this make you anxious, worried? Are you scared? Because a lot of people that I teach and that I speak to are telling me, hey, I was really worried about this. We never hit the high. So now in their brain, that as soon as they start expanding, it might just be possible that we come all the way back fuck up here. You get my point. And it super fucks people up because of what? Because it's a week in general. Look what the fuck we'd have done for 2 fucking days straight. This shit was mid, and it took all the way till Thursday for to Nasdaq to become a porn star. Nasdaq wasn't trying to give you none until Thursday. Granted, Valentine's Day was yesterday, but you get what I'm trying to say. It wasn't trying to give you none early. And a lot of people are sitting there like, this is untradeable. No, it's not untradeable. You're just overthinking. Now, outside of Goldbach levels, we'll come back to that in a moment. You're overthinking that basic thing that I said earlier. And you see what I do with these lectures? You see why I speak a certain way? Go watch what I said just now about the basic ICT. Why are we expecting anything? Let's go left or right so you're not confused. What are you doing here? Oh, you wanted that your Judas swing was uh 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 sell side for here? Why are you confused? You're literally already going downward. And what was taken? A high taken by a high. Sell side. Again, right? Basic turtle. Basic turtle, right? So that's my thing. I need you to understand. You're going to get to a point where it's not just about your goal back levels. You need to understand structure, and this is why. Yes, we have ooh, a day on an A week. You probably woke up this day and tried to figure out the bias for the day when it's not really the point. Whole point, and I'm not gonna break them down either, but not right now. We're trying to move past this so we get to your the main topic. But what I'm saying is you need to understand it's not about a main bias. It's going to be about singular objective. You need to understand that as a day trader. Why are we sell side? Why? X A M D. Turtle soup. Basic liquidity. What's confusing? What's confusing? Session take out a session. What's confusing? Right. Now, that's my thing, right? Let's get to your Thursday. What are we doing? What are we doing? Are you buy side or you sell side? As the user, What did I tell you, right? If we are to understand how does the marketplace need to come down? Simple. A high has to be taken for us to reverse and go lower. How do you go higher? You catch my drift. Come on now. It's like miniature ping pong. Now it's not fully ping pong because we have to get somewhere, but you get what I'm trying to say. You need to get off just trusting highs and lows. How do we do this? How do we do this? Now, like you said, the perspective of this, I can see us coming down. It's not related to the time frame, but however I define it, I have not touched this high again. Yet I know what direction we need to go. A lot of you did not take this trade because we didn't touch that high. Unfortunate. I actually heard, I'm not gonna put no names on it. I heard somebody try to go bullish in here. Somebody who's I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, that sucks. Yeah, make no money. That sucks. And it's funny because a lot of people still expect me to be like, no, man, you got to be like so humble. You know, some people didn't catch it and probably feel bad about it. And not to say it like that, but you need to remember, take everything as a learning experience. I understand how you feel, but I'm not going to sit here and waste time to say, oh, I feel bad like you're a victim or something. No, you're going to learn from it and do better next go. That's what we're going to do here. 2026, no negative talk, no negative self talk. We're not talking about other people badly. No negative talk. 2026, you're on your side like nationwide. Come on now. We want you to win, but we also don't want you to be not able to take basic trades. This is basic. This is standard here. To a basic degree of like, hey, they don't want to break highs. What direction do you need to focus on? You see why I wanted to show you that without the levels on, my friend. Because what are you doing here in reality? They took one, right? Showed you we are no longer bullish. They showed you with this swing here. They can't break highs anymore. What are you going to do? There's a difference that I talk about between predicting versus reacting. Now, we do a great job in my mentorship, in my Discord, every single day of predicting the future. We do every day. But there's a balance between predicting versus reacting. You see this bitch come down. What the fuck? Why are you not selling this? Because you're scared of us not going to the high. You're scared of this accumulation profile. AMD, trust the shit. Liquidity, internal versus external range. Not going to go into detail about that right now, but you need to trust it. Now, fun shit. My thing is, okay, to even give you a basic understanding of this, right? Now, listen, if you're somebody who doesn't like the indicator coloring outside of the lines, that's okay. Now, for context, right? Because you probably read the book and are probably already trading trifecta stuff, right? And you just watch this video because you found it. Now that's my thing. Okay. Now me personally, I customize everything. Now, just so you're not confused, right? The only thing I really changed, okay, instead of this being red, all right, and having a million red lines on the screen, I made my rebalance layer yellow. All right. It's yellow. Okay. Now, we spoke about this. A lot of people do not like what? The breaking of the highs and lows of your dealing range. They don't like the fact that it breaks here, goes back down, breaks it again. Now you're sitting there confused, attempting this bitch a million times because now you're trying to sell this off and get it to go all the way down. Now this bitch comes all the way up. Now you're changing bias. And I'm talking about your manipulation day. A lot of people here, because they're right on a high low, right? So you're buying this, you're selling this, you're buying it again. You're confused and scared because now you're not sure if we're going to have a whole another day like this, but you see the targeting. Now it makes you want to get money out here. I feel you, my friend, but I need you to be patient, especially in this quarter one. If you're not understanding of types of cycles and things like that, Lord Jesus, just do not sit there and just shots in the dark. Like, don't. You can watch these Goldbach levels all you want to, but you will be eaten alive on this shit. Dog, we got 1,000 tick retracements. I know you've seen it. You've seen it. But my thing is, how do we play around with not changing the levels every 10 seconds? Oh, this is good. Now, this is my thing. Don't forget, my rebalance layer is just a little different than yours. It's just yellow. Okay. Now, to explain all of these, all right. A lot of people are trying to figure out why there are a million lines versus your 729 to 243. Of course, you can measure it. It's just like one dealing range. So what your trifecta is doing, old versus new style. Okay. And again, I break down a lot of this stuff in my deluxe video in Discord. There's a whole big video on how to do this stuff. It's a lot more details. Put it that way. But we're going to do the basics of this right now for you. Okay. Now, when it comes to like the new style versus old style, and with my water at old style, we're shifting the dealing range a lot, trying to find what's called optimal dealing range, right? Kind of keeping it simple toward, I mean, the same idea here, but it's a lot more shifting around you got to do to kind of get it to feel optimized. You know what I mean? So, yes, your 2187 and your 729, and I'm speaking from a just a NASDAQ or NQ perspective, right? It's different on other assets. And we'll get to that in other videos. But my thing is 2187 versus 729, you're on a looking for like a bigger style view of my bad. Somebody invited me to play Marvel Rivals. Gotta let them know I'm making a video. Bro, if you don't play Marvel Rivals, holy shit. Like it's my favorite game. I'm sorry. It's my favorite game right now. I have not played an RPG in a while just because I've been playing nothing but Marvel Rivals, and I played Black Widow. Black Widow's my main on that game. Sometimes I play Cap. Um, but yeah, Doc Strange is not bad. But mainly when it comes to, I play Widow, man. I rip with Widow. Widow. My sniping skills are really up there. I play Widow support, and I'm way better at kind of getting in the mix now. Like I can get up close and get some melees in. But dude, I love that game. I'm sorry. That game is so fucking fire, dog. If you don't play fucking Marvel Rivals, you need to sit down with me this weekend and play it. Holy shit. I suck at Arc Raiders. And everybody got me this week to be like, yo, hop on Raiders, hop on Raiders. I was like, all right, cool. Bro, I don't know where to get these guns from. Like I'm on the workbench and I'm making shit, right? I'm finding supplies. But dog, I am lost in that game in terms of objective and all that. So I gotta watch the videos, I guess. But anyway, so when it comes to your old style versus your new style of dealing range, right? The big issue was shifting that bitch every 10 fucking seconds. You want to use an 81, you're going to go through a few of those on NASDAQ in a day. Or you might just stay in 281s in a day, right? Which makes it like 2 out of 3 243s. Now, when it comes to like a 729, this is more on like a longer term view, meaning you kind of want to see like what we can do over the course of a couple days or a week. Sometimes, we're not going that far um in like 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean? For example, god damn, that took forever, didn't it? Now, just the thing, right? You see what I mean? We've been in the same 729 the whole week. That's what I'm trying to say. We went far this day, but you stayed in that 729. We went far this week, but we only went through a 729 and a little bit of extra. You get what I mean? Week before that, what are we doing? You're within that 729. But you see what I mean? Where it takes a while to get through that motherfucker, right? Now, that's the thing. Speaking about old school versus new school here, okay? Right now, we are on a 729 trifecta. You see the difference. A lot more lines in general, okay? So what you're viewing by default is it's doing 729 times 3 by default. So what that means on my screen, right? From very high to very high here, that's a dealing range. You have a second one here, dealing range. And what do you have on the bottom? Dealing range. So you get what I'm trying to say. 729 times 3. That's why there's so many fucking lines. Okay. Now, when it comes to, oh my God, not me trying to play lighter Jeopardy. Jesus Christ. All right. Now, when it comes to your trifecta, right? The reason why I made my rebalance layer yellow is because it's the one that's kind of helpful for me to seal off which dealing range is which. And it also represents my equilibrium. So the thing about the trifecta and why it's so cool is it goes into layers. Okay. And there's only 3. Okay. It doesn't like get rid of the idea of Pediarite at all. Okay. You still have a high rejection block, order block level here. Okay. So that green from red all the way down to white. Okay. This is the high order block, rejection block, and the white line is fair value. Fair value. Now, there's a name for this entire green layer. Okay. We're going to group the white into the green layer as well. Don't be confused. Okay. We're going to group it in there. Green layer, liquidity layer. Okay. Obviously, red lines, our highs and lows, are going to be grouped in there too. Okay. So from red, but really green, which is your rejection block, order block, and fair value gap, are all one layer. So we're going to make this green. Okay. Now, blue layer. This is your flow layer. All right. Keeping it very simple. I want you to understand from the flow layer. Okay. So liquidity void. Your liquidity void layer. Now, we've always talked about your liquidity void layer being like the biggest layer in general. Just so that's why we have literally the biggest 3 lines. The space in between outside of your order block is like the biggest layer. Okay. Now, that represents your void, very last layer. I'll make this blue. We have breaker, mitigation block, and EQ mixed together. So, green layer, again, rejection block, order block, fair value gap, all mixed together, and the high is there. Flow layer is your liquidity void, and keeping it very simple, breaker, mitigation block, EQ is all of my yellow rebalance layer. Okay. Not going to get into all of it right now. I just want you to understand things. Few basics. Imagine being able to confirm the bias. You're going to take these layers, and we have slightly some updated function. Now, I said something to you earlier. How do you validate something? It's getting interesting. Body through that blue layer is confirming in real time your current bias. Your blue layer, let me say it again, in real time is confirming what? The bias. Your white line is confirming what? We call it the fair value gap level. So yes, you're going to find gaps there. We'll keep it very simple for you. And I do want you to read the rest of Hobby's book, so I don't want you to, I'm not giving you everything. But I will say, green layers for liquidity, white line is for fair value gap. You're going to find the blue layer is the bias. White layer also helps with early bias. Again, all this stuff I'm speaking on can be validated with bodies. Wicks just do the damage. Do not fucking care about these wicks. Care about the bodies. Blue layer is confirming the bias. Yellow layer. That yellow layer is a motherfucker, man. Because why? This is where it gets muddy. You're going to find all of that shitty rebalance is why it's in the name. But do you see what we do with this level in general? Why do you think we come back here 80,000 times? Up through it, back down through it. Rebalance it and then back down. Rebalance it, back down. Guess what? All the way back down to this yellow one, all the way back up to the same one. It's a layer that price will revisit constantly. Also separates your premium discount. It's an EQ. But you see what they do on that thing. And if you understand I'm not going to get into it, but if you understand EQ functionality, you're not surprised. Bias, bias. I'm not going to get into it deeply, but you understand what I'm saying about the bias. You want more detail? Come to Discord. We'll talk about it. Now, the cool thing about Trifecta allows you, since it's 729 times 3 or 243 times 3 or 81 times 3, allows you to not have to switch that motherfucker 10 million times a day. Does that make sense to you? I want you to read Hoppy's book. That's my guy. Um, we do have a lot of new stuff for you everywhere. There's a new AI platform. You're going to find some interesting content if you go and check out the AI platform anytime this week. I have a community on there. Hoppy has a community on there. Obviously, nothing that I have is going to go anywhere, but public videos that you find here on my YouTube obviously will be here. My Discord, my mentorship is always going to be there. But you'll find some interesting content on the AI platform. You can literally take the AI and let's say you want to go through my book, right? Ooh, let's say and this is the thing about the motherfucking like wedding cake. Wedding cake is like the worst cotton mouth of all time. God damn. Mm, all good. Anyway, AI platform, you can find some cool stuff. Let's say you want to go check out my book on there, right? Get the AI to summarize something that you don't understand. That's kind of crazy. So there's some study tools on there if you want to check some stuff out. There'll be some exclusive content on there. Same way there's exclusive content everywhere. So that means in my Discord, of course, you'll get the most. Whatever you want to learn, it's all there. It's all there. Now, it's not a free Discord. I say it all the time. I get emails. Everybody wants to think it's free. It's not free. I'm sorry. It's what it is. But, however, if you want to go find members only videos, you want breakdowns, I mean, we're just there having fun. We're there every day. But you got to remember, for YouTube mentorship is for YouTube mentorship. I drop these when I get bored. So, yes, there'll be videos on here. And obviously, you can tell from the cover. It's time to play Marvel Rivals. So, if you want to come play Marvel Rivals with me, come do that. So, think about what I said about Goldbach levels, because they're not operating them any different. But what I want you to understand is that there's 3 layers, and these layers have functionality. Okay. Once you get into it, who knows? Maybe you will be a lucky winner, and that lucky winner is understanding. And when it comes to music, there's a lot of creative players out there, but the only music that you will put on over and over and over and over is the one that is more relatable to you. If there's not a single trading model that fits your style, Not everything is there for everybody, right? You need to be creative, but that doesn't mean you change up how you put your personality into your trading. Take what I give you and make it yours. It's your song. I'm just giving you the instrument. Now, I like 90s music, early 2000s music. You might like rock music. Point is, don't let somebody stop you from being creative the way you want to be creative. Take what you learn, make it yours. All right, time to play the game. See you later.